Happy New Year, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, we will begin this interview on the domestic front. Certainly, we will be touching on foreign policy as well. The budget has just been presented to the National Assembly. It was an optimistic budget, so to speak. We are expecting growth to revert back to 6%. Generally speaking, the budget outline also spoke of achievements in many areas over the preceding year. That's optimistic, certainly, so to speak. But from a more general perspective, a review of the year, what kind of year has it been?
We had ups and downs, which is natural, which is expected, because as Muslims and Christians that believe in the one God, the Almighty Allah would always test your faith, at the same time urge you to be resilient, because that is what we are taught in the Quran, that we should be resilient, and the Almighty Allah would test us always. But it has been a year of significant achievements, in the sense that there is one commodity that money can buy, that money cannot buy, and that is peace and stability and tranquility in this country. Yes, I would have loved that 2013 would have been a year of more rapid development, but because of the slowdown in world economy and financing, we were able to make the best out of what we have. And overall, it has been a very successful year in terms of agricultural output. This year has been the most successful year throughout the 19 years that I have been a head of state. This is thanks to the Almighty Allah in the first place, and the people of this country heeding my call. I do not think that Gambians will require food aid this year as compared to last year. And I believe also that Gambians have learned a lesson, a very important lesson, because this year's farming activity is unprecedented in the sense that even ministers, not only did they have a cabinet farm, but they also had their own big farms that they have cultivated, and they had a good harvest. So what does that mean? It meant that if we all work towards providing what we are going to eat, that means providing to feed ourselves and our families, hunger would be a thing of the past in this country. The year in some areas have not been good, in the sense that a review of some practices at the Ministry of Agriculture were abominable. The results were very appalling. Only we realized that most of these project funds, where they are supposed to build infrastructure for accessibility of major rice fields to the women of this country, or the rice cultivators, were just ad hoc projects, projects that where on paper they spend millions of dollars, but in reality they actually didn't spend anything except provide food for the local people to build local bridges, wooden bridges, and they costed them in millions. This practice is unacceptable, and as from now, this government would pay particular attention, especially this office. I personally will pay more attention. If I can say, I'll put 3 departments under the microscope, or 3 ministries, and that is 1, agriculture, and all its departments and projects. The second one would be health, because what I have seen for myself is shocking, where patients go to a health center and the nurses in attendance are just busy sending texts to other friends, or they are busy on their Facebook. This is unacceptable. And the idea of a nurse misbehaving, and instead of sending her home, they redeploy her or him to another health center is unacceptable. He or she has misbehaved in this health center. And instead of setting an example, you transfer her to another, you are transferring the problem. And this is unacceptable. I had to step in to say, especially the case of Brikama, where a woman in labor was literally appealing to the nurses on duty. And they told her that, I think, she was not supposed to be there. She was supposed to go to Serekunda or somewhere else. Imagine a woman in labor. Imagine your sister in labor or your mother in labor, and somebody sits there and doing nothing but sending messages on SMS or on Twitter or watching Facebook. And the lady delivered almost on the floor. The baby fell out, and I think she died. The baby died.
I think this was reported in one of...
It was reported, and guess what? What was the recommendation from the Ministry of Health? The case is being investigated, and the nurses concerned would be redeployed. I thought, hell no, not in my country and not under my administration, not certainly under my watchful eyes. Send them home immediately. And in fact also, I instructed the police to investigate, because this is criminal negligence that led to the death of a young innocent infant. This is unacceptable. If you think that a baby is not a human being, you are making a huge mistake. So not only have they been dismissed, but I think now they're in the hands of the police. We're going to prosecute them to set an example. You go to RVTH before the arrival of the Syrians. The doctor on call is nowhere to be seen. In an emergency, they have to start calling here and there. This is unacceptable. Like in the military, a doctor on call is like a duty officer who is supposed to be at his station at all times, irrespective of what. Because he is the first line of defense for patients. Now you go to the RVTH, you will not find a nurse. They are somewhere doing whatever they want to do. And then the doctor on call is not there. And that is why I was obliged to transfer the RVTH under the office of the president. And not only the office, but on the State House. So that I will deal with the situation. Because can you believe that we spent a lot of money, government funds and personal funds, to make the hospital, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital, the best, not only in the Gambia, but the best in the sub-region. And I've done everything humanly possible to make sure of that. Guess what? You provide equipment, and it's stolen. Or it's stored somewhere and it's not maintained. It's not even being used. We had a CT scanner, and it was epileptic. Today it is good, tomorrow it's not good. We had one of the best X-ray machines in Africa,